Sources told the Post that Jones sent a message to one of the betting ring members on February 9, 2023, urging him to place a large bet on the Lakers' opponent, the Milwaukee Bucks, because James would be out with an injury.
But we begin with a story that has dominated the headlines. The FBI announced on Thursday that two major operations, one involving the sharing of insider information for betting on NBA games, and the other centering on rigged poker games using high-tech cheating devices, have led to the arrest of more than 30 suspects. Some involved.
LeBron James has reportedly been taken into custody after FBI agents carried out raids at his Los Angeles and Ohio residences. According to investigators, this case has little to do with basketball anymore. The operation, now grabbing national headlines, is called Operation Nothing But Bet. What began as a minor investigation into insider betting within the NBA has exploded into one of the league's most shocking scandals. For months, agents have been following trails of money, encrypted messages, and leaked medical information, all of which allegedly lead back to one man long considered untouchable.
Individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today. Former, current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this.
The first domino fell when LeBron's close friend and former teammate Damon Jones was indicted. Newly unsealed court documents reveal that Jones was allegedly caught selling inside injury information before key Lakers games, including the February 9, 2023 matchup against the Milwaukee Bucks and another against the Oklahoma City Thunder in January 2024. In one text message cited by prosecutors, Jones reportedly told an associate to get a big bet on Milwaukee tonight before the info gets out. Just hours later, LeBron sat out that very game with an ankle injury, and the Bucks went on to win handily. What appeared to be an open and shut case against Jones quickly escalated when federal investigators turned their attention to LeBron himself. Sources familiar with the probe say the FBI didn't stop at Jones. They expanded the investigation into LeBron's inner circle, executing search warrants on both his Los Angeles mansion and Ohio estate. Agents reportedly seized phones, computers, and financial records as part of their search. According to insiders, the warrants specifically referenced possible links between Jones's betting network and a high-profile player's financial operations. That player, of course, was LeBron James. While no formal charges have been filed against LeBron, the scope of the FBI's actions has fueled growing speculation that he may be far more than just a witness in this explosive case.
The first indictment involves 6 defendants. This scheme is an insider sports betting conspiracy that exploited confidential information about National Basketball Association athletes and teams.
The FBI's official stance is that LeBron James is fully cooperating with the investigation, but sources close to the case are painting a very different picture. According to insiders, agents are now combing through encrypted messages and offshore transactions tied to several individuals who previously traveled with LeBron's inner circle. One source claims LeBron's name appears multiple times in internal FBI memos, though the details remain under seal. Rumors circulating among league executives suggest that LeBron could soon be listed as a key defendant in an upcoming expansion of the federal indictment. Meanwhile, new details about Damon Jones's behavior in the months leading up to his arrest have added fuel to the fire. Witnesses at the Aria Resort in Las Vegas describe Jones as living extravagantly, spending long nights in the casino's high-limit rooms, puffing on $200 cigars, and casually name-dropping LeBron to anyone within earshot. Professional gambler Michael Osborne told investigators that Jones frequently invoked LeBron's name as a form of credibility, boasting that he had access to team trainers and early injury reports. But behind the bravado was a man spiraling out of control. Sources say Jones was also borrowing money from fellow gamblers just to stay in the game.
We do have more breaking news this morning. 2 big names in the NBA among more than 30 people arrested in connection with federal investigation into sports betting and illegal gambling.
Behind all the headlines lies the contradiction fueling this investigation. The NBA maintains that LeBron had no knowledge of Damon Jones's betting activities. League officials told outlets like The Athletic that James was completely unaware of any wrongdoing, and that his connection with Jones was strictly personal, not professional. But as the FBI widened its probe, that narrative began to shift. Federal records show that agents were no longer just focused on Jones's insider tips. They had started analyzing direct communications between Jones and LeBron himself. That's when, according to one agent familiar with the case, a new name appeared on the warrant: LeBron James. The question now gripping fans and analysts is simple. If LeBron were merely a witness, why would federal agents seize files from his properties? The warrants reportedly referenced coordination of privileged information, a phrase prosecutors typically use when describing co-conspirators, not bystanders. Although there's still no concrete evidence that LeBron personally engaged in betting, insiders say his close association with Jones, combined with suspicious timing of certain financial withdrawals and private jet trips, has intensified federal scrutiny. And the timeline only deepens the intrigue. The February 9, 2023 game against the Milwaukee Bucks wasn't just any matchup. It came just 2 days after LeBron broke Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's all-time scoring record. LeBron sat out immediately afterward, citing ankle soreness. According to court documents, that was the very same game Jones used to tip off his illegal wager. When investigators connected Jones's text to that specific date, it created the appearance of coordination, whether intentional or not. Then, in January 2024, Jones allegedly leaked another insider update before the Lakers faced the Oklahoma City Thunder, pocketing roughly $2,500 via mobile payment. In both incidents, Jones's connection to LeBron wasn't just friendship, it was his selling point.
Not only did we crack into the fraud that these perpetrators committed on the grand stage of the NBA, but we also entered and executed a system of justice against La Cosa Nostra, to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese.
It's impossible to overlook the timing of this scandal, coming as the NBA faces a growing integrity crisis. Federal investigators have already charged several league figures, including Portland coach Chauncey Billups and Miami guard Terry Rozier, under the same operation. But despite those high-profile indictments, all eyes are now on LeBron James. When footage surfaced showing FBI vehicles outside LeBron's Brentwood mansion, social media erupted with speculation. Some commentators dismissed it as a misunderstanding linked to Damon Jones's activities, while others, particularly sports law experts, argued that the FBI doesn't raid the home of a mere witness unless they suspect something far deeper. In the days that followed, LeBron's legal team broke their silence only once, issuing a short statement through a representative claiming they were fully cooperating. However, in legal circles, that phrase is often viewed as code for ongoing negotiations, not proof of innocence. A source close to the case revealed that agents seized multiple electronic devices during the raids, including encrypted tablets believed to belong to members of LeBron's team. While officials haven't disclosed the contents, leaks suggest the devices may contain travel logs, scheduling data, and messages stretching back to late 2022, the period when Jones first began traveling alongside the Lakers. From there, the story veers into murkier territory where rumor and revelation blur together. Several insiders allege that the gambling probe was only the surface layer of a much larger investigation. Behind closed doors, prosecutors reportedly began cross-referencing communication patterns between Jones and a second circle of entertainment figures, some of whom were already named in a separate federal case. That discovery, sources say, is what prompted investigators to expand their focus beyond basketball, revisiting LeBron's broader network of associates, including friends and collaborators in the entertainment industry.
Interestingly, we haven't seen the indictments yet. There's been some time lag. I suppose it will take some time to go through all the forensic, evidence.
When asked why federal agents would revisit those connections, one legal analyst explained that Operation Nothing But Bet isn't just about insider wagering. It also targets potential money laundering across multiple industries. The blurred lines between sports, entertainment, sponsorships, charitable foundations, and event promotions create fertile ground for suspicious financial transfers. If any of those transactions intersected with accounts tied to Damon Jones or his associates, the legal fallout could be massive. Publicly, LeBron has tried to project normalcy. Just weeks before the raids, he was spotted courtside in Los Angeles, wearing a bright floral cardigan and cheering on his teammates as usual. But behind the scenes, sources close to him describe a man under tremendous pressure. He has reportedly canceled media appearances and scaled back his travel schedule while the investigation unfolds. Within the Lakers organization, insiders say the team is taking a wait-and-see approach, refraining from any public statements until more facts emerge. For now, the entire franchise and the basketball world at large can only watch as one of the sport's most celebrated figures stands at the center of an escalating federal firestorm.
Same kind of extortion that we heard when Cassie took the stand and testified on that airplane ride back from France. Diddy said, "You don't do a freak off, I'm going to release one of the freak off videos that you are profiled in and humiliate."
As the world demands answers about the betting networks and encrypted money trails, investigators are now shifting their attention to something far more alarming: LeBron's alleged connection to a man already serving time for orchestrating the infamous freak-off gatherings. That link, according to insiders, has pushed the investigation into much darker territory, blurring the line between sports scandal and criminal conspiracy. It's here, at the crossroads of fame, power, and secrecy, where the story takes its most unsettling turn. And that's where this investigation is far from over. The story continues.
That he has, with others, and just because no one else has been charged, which normally in a RICO case, you would have others charged. It was a statute designed to get mob bosses, trying to get at criminal behavior that's like a web of criminal behavior that you can't necessarily prove, like the one thing or the statute of limitations expired on the other thing, but you're just showing this bad guy who's operating what's clearly an enterprise that over and over engages in criminal problems or criminal acts.
When the FBI began raiding LeBron's properties, it quickly became clear the operation wasn't just about gambling. Agents were reportedly following a web of social and financial connections, and that path, sources say, led directly to Sean Diddy Combs. What started as a routine follow-up on insider betting records suddenly expanded into a much larger probe touching entertainment, finance, celebrity events, and private guest lists. Diddy, recently sentenced to over 4 years in prison on charges related to illicit activities and transportation for immoral purposes, was already watching his empire crumble in real time. Now, in a shocking twist, one of the biggest names in sports has allegedly found himself entangled in that same collapsing network.
Hey, everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah.
Almost overnight, an old video resurfaced and began spreading across social media. A clip of LeBron laughing alongside Diddy on Instagram Live, joking, "Ain't no party like a Diddy party." At the time, it seemed like harmless banter between celebrities. But in today's context, that lighthearted moment has taken on a far more unsettling tone, becoming what many online are calling evidence in the court of public opinion. Viewers have slowed the footage, analyzed every expression, and speculated whether LeBron's comment hinted at a deeper familiarity with Diddy's private world. While LeBron has not been accused of any sexual or criminal activity, insiders claim his name came up in discussions surrounding individuals who allegedly attended Diddy's now infamous freak-off gatherings. Those once exclusive events, once portrayed as lavish celebrity parties, are now being recast in federal testimony as hubs of manipulation, coercion, and exploitation within Diddy's inner circle, pulling new names from sports and entertainment into the spotlight.
So maybe the judge is going to give him more than time served.
But we should say that the maximum he could get is 20 years.
And that's what I want to get into for a minute, because this is some racist you-know-what, this man-ass.
LeBron's legal team has remained tight-lipped, refusing to issue any comment, while the Lakers have declined every request for clarification. That silence, rather than calming the storm, has only intensified it, especially as agents seized additional materials from LeBron's properties during the same week prosecutors announced a major escalation. Federal officials revealed that Operation Nothing But Bet had been formally expanded to include financial data from entertainment accounts linked to Diddy's business network. Internal notices referenced cross-referenced ledgers and peers, suggesting investigators suspect that some of the same intermediaries may have facilitated payments tied to both Damon Jones's betting operation and Diddy's entertainment ventures. That's when investigators reportedly realized the money trails, and even the guest lists, might overlap. Behind the scenes, publicists are in crisis mode, and corporate sponsors are quietly reviewing their contracts. According to insiders, at least 2 major brands have already paused upcoming campaigns featuring LeBron's image, pending further federal clarification. Within NBA circles, the question has shifted dramatically. It's no longer just about whether LeBron knew of Jones's betting activities, but whether he was aware of Diddy's secret gatherings and what truly went on behind closed doors. Even a hint of association with that scandal has executives across the league and beyond on edge.
Known that I've talked for a while, a lot of people are buzzing that Diddy's former BFFs are real quiet.
And they have been.
And people were wondering why and who's the next to fall. And then Jay-Z comes out, and then LeBron James says, I'm stepping away for excused personal reasons. And people are going, oh, what is going on?
At the same time, new whispers are surfacing from individuals once tied to Diddy's inner circle. A former event promoter has alleged that LeBron's name appeared in internal guest coordination messages dating back to 2018, though those records have not been made public. Another source claims that during the FBI's review of seized phones belonging to Diddy's security team, contact logs referenced several high-profile athletes, LeBron's name allegedly among them. None of these claims have been verified, yet they've become fuel for online sleuths, who now pore over old social media clips and photos as if building digital evidence boards. Adding another layer to the growing intrigue, several messages reportedly retrieved from devices seized during the FBI raid at LeBron's mansion are now being examined for possible links to a series of exclusive private events held in Los Angeles and Miami. Insiders familiar with the material say it includes encrypted correspondence involving names later associated with Diddy's management and production teams. Whether those exchanges were innocent, related to sponsorship deals or networking, or something more sensitive remains unclear. But in the tense atmosphere surrounding Operation Nothing But Bet, even the slightest hint of ambiguity feels incriminating.
Reward them when they win. I criticize them when they're messing up in an effort to make sure that you don't do it again. I'm not wishing anybody to fail, but I have to call it how I see it because I have an audience to answer to. These players, I don't get paid to talk.
Friends have long described LeBron as fiercely loyal, a man who never forgets those who stood by him during his early days in Akron. Over time, that loyalty forged a tight-knit inner circle that followed him from Cleveland to Miami to Los Angeles, bound by old favors, shared ventures, and decades of personal trust. But investigators now suggest that this very loyalty may be his greatest weakness. Several individuals once connected to the Lakers' locker room recall moments when LeBron's commitment to keeping familiar faces close clashed with team policies. Sources say some of his longtime friends, many without official team roles, were often seen lingering around practices, attending closed sessions, or traveling with the team under informal access. It was a setup that blurred the line between personal loyalty and professional boundaries. And according to investigators, it may have opened the door for the kind of exposure now under scrutiny.
Let's talk about LeBron James, the Lakers head coach, saying he is out for personal reasons. It's an excused absence. However, social media trying to connect it to a resurfaced clip where James joined Diddy Combs on a live stream and said, quote, "Hey, everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party." I think that went viral. I remember when
Sources close to former Lakers staffers say those blurred boundaries eventually became part of the routine. Whenever management questioned why certain individuals were in restricted areas, the response was almost always the same. If LeBron wanted them there, they stayed. It was central to his image, the self-made superstar who never forgot his roots. But as Operation Nothing But Bet deepens, federal analysts are now dissecting that very loyalty. They're examining whether LeBron's unwavering trust in longtime friends like Damon Jones, along with entertainment contacts from previous seasons, may have inadvertently created channels for confidential team information to leak beyond the organization. Former teammates recall that over the years, LeBron received quiet warnings about some of the company he kept. A few remember subtle reminders from coaches and team security, urging him to distance himself from associates whose financial dealings had raised red flags. According to insiders, those cautions were always met with politeness, but rarely with action. For LeBron, loyalty wasn't optional. It was a core principle. He built his empire on trust and faith in those who helped him rise. Yet that same conviction, investigators now suggest, may have left him vulnerable to people who saw his generosity as an opportunity for their own gain.
Time now for some of the biggest trending stories you'll want to know today. Sports legend. People call him the GOAT. LeBron James taking an excused absence from the basketball season. This, as resurfaced video, is being examined in a...
From a psychological standpoint, fame at LeBron's level blurs the line between friendship and dependence. The people closest to him serve as both his shield and his vulnerability. Analysts who study celebrity behavior often point out that individuals under immense public pressure tend to build insulated circles, echo chambers where criticism is softened and dissenting voices fade. Within that world, trust becomes its own currency, and betrayal is unimaginable until it happens. The FBI's focus on communication logs between LeBron and his longtime associates suggests just how fragile that inner structure may have become under investigation. As the probe widens, sources close to the case believe that loyalty itself may be the common thread connecting the betting network, the entertainment finances, and even the social connections that drew LeBron toward Diddy's orbit. To those investigators, this isn't simply a story about greed or corruption. It's about a man whose sense of duty and loyalty may have stopped him from setting the necessary boundaries. That deeply human flaw, magnified by the isolating power of fame, could explain why federal agents are now combing through the personal files of one of the most disciplined athletes on earth. In the saga of LeBron James, loyalty isn't just a virtue. It's the code that built his empire, and the very force that may now be threatening to unravel it.
Great father, great husband, great philanthropist, great businessman, great director, great producer, great host, great basketball player, great leader. I mean, my God, I have done everything but put diapers and a bib on this brother. But it ain't enough, because one thing matters to him and one thing only, and that's him being recognized as the greatest of all times. Well, you're not, in my book.
The narrative has clearly shifted from sportsmanship to secrecy. For decades, LeBron James represented the gold standard of control and composure, the athlete who never faltered, never lost focus, never cracked under pressure. But now, that carefully crafted image is under siege. Analysts have taken note of his recent withdrawal from several high-profile charity events, interpreting it as a sign of tightened internal damage control. One Los Angeles public relations executive summed it up bluntly: when a brand as spotless as LeBron's goes silent, it's because the lawyers have taken the microphone. Meanwhile, conspiracy theories are multiplying. Some claim that Operation Nothing But Bet and Diddy's prosecution may converge through a maze of hidden financial networks, including shell foundations, event promoters, and luxury galas presented as charitable fundraisers. Investigators haven't confirmed these overlaps, but each newly unsealed document seems to fuel more speculation. Across social media, amateur sleuths are cross-referencing flight logs, photos, and timestamps, pointing out instances when LeBron appeared in the same cities or venues later tied to Diddy's alleged misconduct. Even the smallest coincidences, shared dates, mutual sponsors, overlapping guest lists, have become digital currency in an ongoing trial by rumor. Through it all, LeBron has remained completely silent. No interviews, no statements, no denials. The very restraint that once made him appear poised and thoughtful now reads as strategic silence. And in that silence, the pressure keeps building. Every unanswered question only makes the whispers louder. What did LeBron know about those private gatherings? Did the same financial handlers who placed bets for Damon Jones also coordinate high-end events for Diddy? Or is this simply guilt by association? A reflection of how deeply power, money, and loyalty intertwine the worlds of sports and entertainment.
Now we've done 3 others where we've laid out the prosecution case. This time, we're talking specifically, what is Diddy's defense? And we decided to test it with a mock jury, and it is fascinating.
It is absolutely fascinating, keeping in mind that the real jury will be sitting down to do this. The trial starts first.
For years, LeBron James built an empire defined by image, control, and precision. From billion-dollar endorsements to social activism, from Hollywood ventures to a carefully crafted family brand. But now, all of that stands on the edge of unraveling, tested by federal subpoenas and the echoes of Diddy's collapsing empire. Was this a case of loyalty turned against him? or just the first glimpse of a deeper cover-up waiting to erupt? One thing's certain, when the truth finally surfaces, it could rewrite the definition of modern fame as we know it. What do you think is really hiding behind LeBron's silence? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated. Because whatever happens next, this story is far from over.